Hey man, just giving you a quick call. I just wanted to let you know that you are so close, dude. You're so much closer than you think. A lot of these big goals that we've had and these big aspirations, they're right around the corner for you, dude. So you just cannot give up. So stoked for you to see this. P.S. We bought a Lambo. So keep going, bro. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Bryson. This is the Bryson Everyday Project podcast. This podcast is a little bit different than other ones out there. Here, I only focus on documentation. I don't focus on quality or being professional or being entertaining. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I'd love for you to stick around and give the show a listen. You can also follow me on Instagram at BRQUSE. Thank you so much. Here's the show.
What's going on? I think I'm gonna hire somebody. I think I just need to. And so the more I think about where I'm at in life, just kind of with work and my goals and what's coming up in the future for me and things like that, I think that I'm being way too passive. And the reason why I think that is because the worst case scenario is I just go back and get a job with FedEx. I'm still in cahoots talking with the owner. I still have, I was a FedEx driver for 3 years. I'm fine. I know my way around the FedEx truck. If it came down to it, I could always go back. I'm not worried. And that's the worst case scenario. And I think that when I paint the picture that truly is the worst case scenario, I think I'm fine. Because here's what's going through my head. I want to hire somebody, but then I'm like, ooh, it's an expense. I don't want to pay for it. I want to make sure that I'm good first. But it's like the way that I'm going to get good is I'm going to build this shit and start selling it. The longer it takes me to do that, the more potential for me to not be good is. So if I can hire somebody to help me build this, or at least do something to buy back my time, I think the better I'll be. So if we play it out, in a month, I'm still going to be working for Mina and Dawson for sure. Brian, PT Dom, that's going to go till the end of October. I guess it's not going to be September. I guess it's going to be the end of October because my first month with PT Dom was I think it was the 5th of October or whatever it was, the 15th. I don't know. It doesn't matter. So that would mean that the last day, September, I don't know. But I want to continue working for PT Dom for sure. I just need to make sure that it makes sense. So I want to. So here's the thing. I need more time. But if I can hire somebody to help me with stuff, then it kind of makes sense to continue that because it's like PT Dom pays for the VA, even if the VA does stuff for me. If they don't do anything for PT Dom at all. So I was doing some little spreadsheet math, and I'm like, if I had one VA and the VA does 40 hours and they get paid $8 an hour, this is how much I owe them a month. And then I did some math of if I have one team in Notion and the average size is 11 people and I pay for the enterprise, that's how much that is for one team. And then I was just factoring in my life expenses and how much it would cost for the VA and how much it would cost for Notion and what that total would be, and that's the bare minimum I would have to make per month, which is $5,132. And as long as I can make that, then we're fine. We're fine, we're good. And going back to the program pricing, if I just charge a setup fee and an onboarding fee, all that whatever you want to call it, or $5,000, all I need to do is sell one person a month. And then after I sell 10 people, the recurring amount will take care of my expenses. So, and the reason why I am kind of revisiting this whole thing is because I think I'm just paranoid that I would, get a VA, everything would be good. And then maybe, I don't know, same time, Trey's like, hey man, we're good. Appreciate all your help. Don't need you, And then maybe Mina's like, hey man, we're going to put your hours back down to 10. It looks like you're finishing up. It's awesome. Proud of you. Maybe Dawson's like, hey man, keep doing your thing, but I only need 5. I don't know. And then, kind of in a sticky spot. I don't want to be in a sticky spot, and I guess that is, one of the prices, one of the fees that comes with this path of life. But truthfully, the worst case scenario is I go back to FedEx. So I think with that frame of mind, I'm absolutely going to look at hiring somebody, and what I would have them do, I've actually been thinking about this today, is I would hire somebody that is not familiar with Notion. Well, I mean, if they are, then even better. But they would be familiar with make.com. The reason for that is so that they can make all the automations and all the stuff that I need them to make. And because that they would be setting things up, they would be more familiar with exactly how I am running things. And then when I sell this thing, they would also be the people that go in and set up the automations for whoever buys the system. Because when you transfer this and you share it, the automations don't stick around. You have to relink them. The automations are always going to be linked to one workspace. So if I duplicate this and give it to Bob in his workspace, all the automations don't work. They only work for mine. So the VA would be responsible for going inside of Make for every single time I get a new client and setting up all automations. Because once they're set up, like they're in. And that also makes me feel much better about charging a recurring subscription, because literally there is a lot of setup and there's a lot of shit that I'm paying for to host these automations for them. Now, it's not a lot. Actually, I'm going to take that back, because I just learned that I'm burning through credits, and that's what they're called. So let me save this shit real quick. Let me go back to my... So I have a module, and it looks through a database, and it sums up all the totals, right? Talked about that. But when it looks through a row, that's 1 credit. So if there's a database and it has 500 rows in it, like the leads and sales thing will have, because VAs are killing it, that's 500 credits per day. Okay? 500 per day. And even if I did it per week, it would still count all the rows. So like if I'm getting 500 rows of data per day, if I run that every day, that's 3,500 a week. If I only do it once a week, that's still 3,500. So how they did that, I guess that's cool. But 500 for one database, and that's not counting all the other shit it's got to do. So you say, 600, 700 for one database, and then you do something similar for other ones. The other ones are going to be much lower, but we'll just call it 1,000 a day. It's 30,000 a month. If I have, oh my Lord. And we've talked about the costs and stuff, and it's honestly, relative to what I'm getting, it's not that bad. But okay, I don't know where the fuck. I haven't had my contacts in all day today, so I can't see shit, and this computer monitor is 2 feet in front of my face. Where is the goddamn subscription? So 300,000. We'll just call it $1 million. It's fine. So $631 a month. I think I'm repeating myself from the last episode. That's so funny, dude. Oh wait, full text credit, teams and team roles, create, share scenario templates. Oh, maybe I need this one then. So if I go 30,000, 300,000 on this one. 300,000. Where is it? We'll just go up to $1 million. So that's $1,600 a month, and that's for 10 teams. Hold on, 300,000. So that would be for 30 teams for $1 million roughly. So 30 teams times 500 would be $15,000 a month income. And again, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but that just makes me feel better about charging. Hold on, what's this? Company single sign-on credit overage protecting custom functions access to. I don't know. But it just makes me feel like I have more of a reason to charge them a fee per month, right? So anyway, I feel like I'm all over the place. What I'm really trying to get at is that I just feel like I'm being passive. I'm not, because the worst case scenario is, Mina, Trey, Dawson, and Brian, they say, hey, peace out, sorry, dude. And then I go back to FedEx. Like, that's the worst thing that could happen. I guess even worse is FedEx doesn't take me back, and then I go find some shitty job. I don't know. I just need $3,500 a month to survive. And so if you add, I just need $4,000 because the taxes come out. So 4,000 divided by 4. I'm not thinking because that's funny. $1,000 a week times that by 40, it's 25. I need $25 an hour. And honestly, not a lot of entry-level jobs offer that, but I'm sure I'd be fine. But anyway, I just think I'm being too passive, for sure, because that's the worst-case scenario. And, the more I think about kind of where I'm at with things, I'm not in a rush, per se, but I feel like I am going slow as shit. And I could go so much faster if I had help and if I was more organized with what I'm doing. And that's exactly what I kind of spent today doing. I have my iPad here, and it's been so far a great investment because I open it up, I use GoodNotes, and I just take notes on it. I have a giant whiteboard on here, and I just write notes. I keep organized, and I just kind of brain dump, and it's great. And I also have the app on my computer and my phone, so no matter where I go, I have my whiteboard with me, and I think that's just fantastic. It's also very cool. I mean, this might sound so silly, but if it gets too cluttered, I can just move it. I can move things on the whiteboard. It's not like once it's written down, it's there. You know what I mean? Might seem obvious, but it's on an iPad. But yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and it's just kind of satisfying. Like I can just zoom in to see all these different things, and there's no pixelation. It's just everything it's all vectors. Like it's so crisp. But actually just noticed that. That's really interesting. There's no pixels. Okay, well, anyway. So what the VA would be doing, like I said, would be setting up the automations and doing stuff in Make, because what I'm doing right now in Notion is I'm going through and I'm really just trying to finalize things off so that I'm good to go to actually start selling this. And I'm just trying to be okay with the fact that everything's not going to be perfect now. And that's fine, because the people who pay a subscription, they're going to get updates. And that's what the VA would also help with. So, I went through the expenses tracker, and I want to say that that's done, for now at least. Because everything is how it should be. It's all looking nice, at least to what I believe. Everything's organized. I know... I feel confident in this. It added some simple headers. It looks fine. So I believe that this would be something that I'd be cool to bundle up and put in the package to start selling. So I want to get everything else to that point so that all these other, check-ins, the master log, financials, all that stuff, they are on the same level as this. Because it's nothing special, but it is, I don't want to say polished off, but it is much nicer than anything else. And this is definitely something that I would feel comfortable selling. This is, I wouldn't say like 10 out of 10 quality, greatest ever, but it's up there for sure, to where I want it, for where I want it to be. So if I can just get everything else to this level, I think then I would just do my best to get it out there. Dawson asked me the other day, he's like, hey man, is your thing done yet? And I think that's because he has some people or one person, whatever, that want to buy it or they're interested. And so I just want to deliver them something good, And I was thinking about how many people I would need to hire depending on how many clients I would have. And I think that it just totally depends on. So if I have the one VA that sets up Make and they set up the automations and they set all that shit up, everything else, because I designed everything, should be relatively simple. The thing that I would definitely need help with is that if people started requesting custom shit, which is fine, it's probably what I would offer, maybe as an upsell, I don't know, but that's when it would take more time. But there's just, I don't know. The bare minimum to survive would be 10 clients total, period, forever. And then, that recurring would be fine. And so I feel like I could handle quite a bit of clients, because right now it would just go from working hourly for me to trade Dawson Brian to doing this. And I would so much rather be doing this because it's my project, my thing. this is just way better. So, yeah, anyway, so what I was doing was I was going through and I'm just making KPI databases. So this one's the expense KPI database, which it's very simple. It's how many recurring expenses are there, how many one time, what's the total amount of recurring expenses cost, and then what's the total amount of one time expenses, what's the average amount of recurring, what's the average amount of one time, and then there is how many total expenses, how much do all expenses add up to, and what's the average amount for all expenses for this month. And there's other things I could add to, like how many expenses in the first half of the month. I could do all that stuff, but I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, that's not the most useful thing to have right now. So maybe I should just push out this first version, make it nice, and then gather feedback from coaches and see what they think, and then build stuff in. The only problem is that I would have to hire somebody to then implement changes to each person's thing because of, future thinking. If I have 15 clients and, I make something new and it's great, I then have to go into 15 different workspaces to then sync it up. I can't just send out an update. I have to rebuild it. And that is the one huge dilemma with Notion, but I guess it could be worse. So when I get to that point, that's when I would need more help for sure. And that's when things might get gross. But I think it just might be one of those things that, if you sign up, you get this version. And as I continue to make it better, people get the next version. And, I could make a whole system for transferring all the data. So that way I could just give them a clean slate. And then everything else just gets added. I mean, that's probably the best. Matter of fact, that's a great idea. I would then just put all the current data or set up buttons or something. I'll have to integrate buttons or something in the setup itself. I don't know. And then I'd just push a button and then it would relink to the new thing. So I'd have to have a temporary log or something. Press a button, takes all the information currently in there, puts it in the temporary one, and then implement the new one. I don't know. I think that's better off than rebuilding it 15 times. But that's just, I don't know. Probably don't need to worry about that right now. What I need to worry about is getting this thing sold or ready to be sold. And I think the only thing that could help me at this point is just getting more time. And, that's where I was going with it. So I'm making these databases, these KPI databases, and what I would have the VA do, because it's not linked to anything. They just have to make the databases and then set it up in Make. It's very easy to make a database in Notion. You just, you right click, insert new column, what is it? What's the name? What does it do? Formula, whatever, straightforward. They would make that, make it nice, use the emojis, make it look professional, whatever, make it crisp and organized and straight and symmetrical, all that stuff. And then they would go into Make and then get all the database IDs, put it in there, automate it so that it gets all the data on a regular schedule. And then they move on to the next one. And because I'm not too familiar with how all that shit works, it would be, I think, in my best interest to delegate that to somebody else. And then I just keep on doing what I'm currently really good at, which is making these things and coming up with how things are calculated and all that shit. So I think that's the plan. I think that's what I'm going to do. So more to come on that for sure. But I just definitely, I say it 100 times every day. I just need more time. I was actually talking with Mina about that, and he said, yeah, dude, you'll always feel like that. You'll never feel like you're good, like you got everything. Like it's just part of the game. And I was like, dude, that's exactly what I was thinking, because I just can't imagine there's one day where I'm like, oh yeah, everything was great. I had all the time in the world. So I don't know. But it is, on that note, it is reassuring to hear somebody who is leaps and bounds ahead of you say that. It's like, oh, dude, it's just part of it. You'll get used to it, So anyway, with each database now that I'm going through, I'm just writing down every metric that I want to track that should come out, every, once a week or, daily, depending on what it is. So anyway, where was I going to go with that? I think I did the math earlier wrong. I think it would be I don't know. It doesn't matter. But anyway, yeah, I'm going through each page. Like right now I'm doing renewals, and I'm like, what do I need to track? And then I have 27 metrics that I want to track on a daily basis. And I'm going back and forth between the daily and the weekly, because do we really need a daily report, or should it just be weekly? Because with weekly, it just sums up 7 days. But would it be valuable to know which specific day you killed it, to know what happened that specific day? I think it would be. But I don't know. I just don't want to flood these systems with so much info every day, because if there's 20 databases that are pumping out some kind of automated I don't know, something at almost the same time every day, like, would that screw anything up? Would that, I don't know. I'm sure I could look into it, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I think that concludes today. I don't think I have anything else to say, but I am just thinking about the whole speed of things and just trying to be better. So anyway, that's all I got. Love you guys. Peace.